Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today I'm going to probably address this part right here. So now we've got a bigger piece that we've got to make. Now I'm thinking serious about doing some kind of a I don't know, start right here and taper up into this somehow to go in underneath this. So we want to put a piece down here across this, if you guys are even in frame. But anyway, before I start out showing what I'm going to do, some of my stuff came in today. The high strength 90 3M spray glue, and it's a good can. 17 ounces. And that's for the camouflage for the back. Well, then I had to buy a tool, because you gotta, when you buy tools today, in another month you're gonna be buying that same tool again. That's the kind of world we live in today, and I'm getting real aggravated with it. But I had to end up getting another nutsert tool, because the nutsert tool that I have laying around here somewhere, it bent. And I'm trying to find a place to set this, because I don't have a flat surface in my frickin' shop anymore. Now, I just bought this one not long ago, and you can see it's brand new. I probably haven't had it more than 6 months, and already the shaft that goes through here is bent, and you can't hardly turn this. It gets locked up. You can't turn it. And the whole purpose of this is so that you can unscrew this from the nutsert. Well, now because of that, now I have to do this to turn it off. That's bullshit. So I tried to fix it, and it ain't. It's not worth fixing. So I ended up having to do this, because I'm gonna need this tool for all what I'm gonna be putting onto this column here. The hinges for the doors are gonna be on there, so I'm gonna have to nutsert here for both hinges, and I'm hoping I can get them hinges to work okay. So this is the new one, and the only reason I went ahead and got the set like this was, first of all, it was cheapest. The cheapest one I can find for the most I can get. So I didn't have the 832, I didn't have the 1024. I would like to have the 1032, but they didn't offer that in this. And then it goes quarter, 5/16, 3/8 inch. So, and then you got from 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. It skipped 7, 10, and 12. So these are the new style, I think. Yeah, this is a different one. So the nutsert, the other nutsert tooling that I got, the bits, ain't gonna fit this one. So that's the only thing that sucked about getting it, is because I'd like to have been able to use what I already have. But this here pretty much covers everything I've got already, and in fact more. There's a few of these I don't have, or didn't have. I do now, but it comes with a big bunch of nut certs for different sizes, which I'm going to have to make sure they stay in their original packages, because I've taken all the rest of mine and put them in different drawers, and I've mixed them up, and it's a nightmare now. So, damn, that's a big old nut cert right there. That must be the M12 or the 1/2 inch. But anyway, I was going to pull that tool out. And it looks like and feels like it's built heavier. It's got some heft to it. It's a little bigger. This is a 16 inch, I believe. And we're going to give this one a shout, or a shot. A shout. Well, it depends on how it works, whether I shout or not, right? So, but anyway, that's the tooling that we had to get. And I may end up eventually getting see if I can get a 1032 one also, because I use a lot of 1032s. So, better put that back. So, then we go ahead and take another sip of coffee. Now I've got a piece of aluminum. If I don't knock everything else down. I've got this piece of aluminum that I have no idea where it come from. I think I got it from the scrap pile somewhere. But anyway, it's been pop riveted to something, and somebody's drilled a bunch of holes in it there. It's a railroad sign, I guess, or no, it's a I don't know what that sign means. Maybe I should stop driving. I know it's a caution around a turn or something. But anyway, I got to take all the rivets out of it, and we're going to have to try to make it so that we can work around all these holes. So basically, this hole right here, that one could possibly be used. These two could possibly be used in the fender itself, or the headlight frame. So we've got to go from here to here, but we're going to taper to here and then come over to here. So I'm going to get a piece of cardboard, and we're going to try to make us a cardboard template. Alright guys, check this out. There's the piece that I put on the hood just to see. That's what cut out of this. Because when I cut this, let me get the other one here. When I cut these, they were in this orientation, I believe. Yeah. And that's what it came out to. I ain't gonna put that on there. I was just making a joke. Anyway, so we've got our sides made. This one's for that side over there. And this one is for this side over here. So, first thing I want to do is I want to steel wool these a little bit and get that magic marker off of it. Maybe clean it up. And we'll go ahead and see if we can't sand these to make them, give them a rough texture. Try to get rid of some of these scratches. So I'll do that next. Alright guys, I believe we have a front end. Now all I got to do is bend that back a little bit, right there. And we're going to put a hole right here. And we're going to make a brace that goes from there to that stud right there, or that bolt. So I got to make that up next. So, and that will put it to where it's got room for the hood. So this will work. And then we'll put our marker light right here on that part, and then we'll put our lights right here. Might do a stagger, maybe one higher than the other, just so it stays with the same contours. To seems bent for some reason, but it's not. But let me look around and see what I can use for braces. It's probably going to have to be steel. So I might have to weld something up. I don't know. I hope not. Alright, so now I've made brackets to put on each side. One is angled one way and one's angled another way, as you can see. Alright, so this one goes to this side, and this one goes to that side. So what I've done is put a slot in it, and all I got to do is loosen up the existing bolt, slide this in, tighten it up, and then drill my hole for a pop rivet. So we'll put that on. Let's put that in there and tighten her down. So now we can drill that and put a pop rivet in it. And since we're going into steel, we don't have to use a washer. Alright, now we can put a pop rivet in it. And there it is. Nice and solid. Might have to put something here to make that a little solider, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. We'll see. So we got a little flop here. So let's raise the hood. And it's the same contour as the hood. So when you shut it down, we have the perfect amount of space in between this part right here. So I'll do the other side and go from there. Alright guys, I think I've got it at its finished product. We may go ahead and paint that black around here. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I could do some designs in it too. I could mill some slots in it or anything just to kind of break it up a little bit. But I think that'll work. Got my lights on it. Of course, I got to change the brackets. I got to take these lights apart and try to figure out how I can put a bracket on these two flat spots on the side. Because what's happening is when you tighten your bolt up to tighten it to this, the bracket to this here bends. See how far that is apart? These fins are supposed to be same distance apart. And you see how close that one is? So when you tighten the nut up, it's pushing it that way so it won't tighten up. It's just so thin and cheap ass aluminum. It's junk. So I'm gonna try to see if I can't make a set of brackets and take these caps off, see what's behind there. I might be able to put something, maybe thread this. I don't know how thick this is. So we'll see. Might put a nut cert in it. I could do that. But we got to take the light apart and find out what we got inside there to work with. And I mean, they'll be like nice lights if I can get a nice mounting bracket to put on them. Them mounting brackets ain't worth a crap. So there's the fender, hood, headlight frame, and the grill, almost in done form. So we start out with a Chevrolet hood, and I cut this part off of the end of this, bent that over, used the other piece that came off of it and pop riveted it to it. And then we're going to put a platform here when we put our mud flap up, because we're going to bring our mud flap up to right here, bend it over to about this far, put a pad on it, and we're probably also going to use this as our tie down. So I might go from here down to here. I don't know, I got some of those rubber straps that you use for your gun holster on your four-wheeler that stretches over your gun to hold it in place or whatever. I've got 2 extra ones of those. I might utilize those. But I think putting a pin in it, just put a pin in it, have a Carter key like the old racing cars had, pins in the hood. So we could do that. But I'm probably going to have to do some body work here on these 2 spots, because I really don't want those louvers to be that far down. I want these to be up here a little further. Something like that right there. I can do it that way. Or I could bring it over here, put it there. And I'm getting ready to spill all my bolts. We could do that, but I think I want to put them right there, about like that right there. So we're just gonna have to do some body work. I went and got some body filler, some DuPont body filler, and we're gonna have to do some body work, and believe me. I've been out of practice. It's been a long time since I worked for a body shop. And I'm not going to be able to do any bondoing until I get my air compressor fixed. And for some reason, I can't hardly get an air compressor regulator to my doorstep. I've been 2 weeks trying to get a regulator to my door to fix my air, because when you hold down on the trigger, it goes down to nothing. You don't have much air at all. So I ended up having to run a hose through my wall from my spare air compressor out back, which is mine. This one's not mine. So I'm waiting for a regulator, because I think that's what's going on. And when I do the new regulator, I've got a new hose over there that I'm going to be putting on my spool too. It could be that maybe the inside of the hose has gotten messed up and is kind of protruding over into the airways. And that's why it gets slowly back up to 150 psi. When you pull the trigger, it goes clear down to almost nothing. So I don't know what's going on. It's like I have no volume. It's like I got a tank about that big. Anyway, hope you guys like what I've done here. You really probably couldn't appreciate it until you got out there and seen it far away and looking at it, but I think that'll work. And then I've got to make the brackets for here to put the other marker light. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Later.